Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to My Hero Academia Season 6, Episode 16, titled The Hellish Todoroki Family Part 2. As heroes deal with criticism from the public, Hawks thinks back to his past with his family, and Endeavor's family visit him in the hospital. So, in the last episode, we had the escape from Tartarus, where All For One commanded Shiraki's body and the Nomu to free himself and all of the prisoners from the supermax of basically superheroes, well, villains. And they then proceeded to go on to free villains from six other what's it called? Six other prisons. Don't know why I had such a hard time saying that. And then we had Bakugo waking up in the hospital and asking everyone's status. So, based on this initial splash screen, that looks where we're starting. So let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Also, you know how I was saying at the end of the last reaction that there was a part that I wasn't sure where they were going to put it? It looks as though they've put it in the newest episode out. So, that change actually makes sense, given what's coming up. I'm fine with that change. Except for Midoriya. I actually can't remember if it has been changed or not. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not that big a fan of this opening. Like, the visuals excite me because I know what they're alluding to, but well, this specific scene goes on for way too long. But it just... For one thing, it shows things that have nothing to do with what's upcoming. Two, it shows something that's a massive spoiler for not even this arc. And three, it's just got scenes like that make absolutely no sense. Oh, hey, it's Camera Guy's dad. You guys remember Camera Guy? Hmm. And that's what caused his ideology of endeavor. This is after he saved that busload of people that we saw in I think it was season 4 during the pro hero thing, the Billboard charts. Isn't it ironic that one of Endeavor's biggest fans, is a kid who came from an abusive father, when Endeavor himself was an abusive father? Like, now that's ironic. Oh no, not the game Ricky Neko. I completely forgot he had grappling cables in his car that worked with his quirk. And that is how Darby came to learn his name and his father. I completely forgot that that was how he found out his name. I'm not a bus idol, but still. I did remember most of that, except for his mum talking with the, well, Darby's man. Oh, not the seltzer guy again. That's the one that Bakugo and Shoto captured. He was what, number 9, I'm pretty sure? Yep. I think that was the guy that said in Iraq is present. I think that was his uniform. Huh. I mean, to be fair, when you think you've already lost one son, the sight of your other son's in danger, it makes sense that you'd freeze. We finally got the title of the episode at the very end of it. Rightio. Um, yeah, so that was a pretty much a just here's what the heroes think about everything that's happening in society. Well, the two main heroes that we're following. I guess three, if you count Janist. We now have Hawks' complete backstory. We have Endeavor coming to grips with everything, and his family just like, shut the fuck up. We need to talk about this. And yeah, we also find out that the public, in their distrust of heroes now, are taking up arms themselves, which is exactly what Redestro wanted with the Meta Liberation. It was to create a panic and then sell the people the support items that they would use to defend themselves in that panic and allow them to use their own quirks. Like, that was the whole point of the Meta Liberation thing. And it worked. Okay, so I'm not going to touch on that because that's for next episode. But yeah, basically, well, it's not legal for the civilians to use their quirks and all that. They're being vigilantes in doing so, and could be arrested themselves for doing so. Redestro, in a sense, won the most out of everything that happened, and he was captured. Like, he was trying to get his father's goal of liberating the quirks of people, liberating the people to use what the abilities they're born with in their everyday life. And, well, people are doing so. Like, because they feel they no longer can trust in heroes. Like, we saw with Wash, who is not a mobility hero, was the only hero close enough to that seltzer attack, and he was way too late, and they took out a building and a half trying to defend themselves as civilians. Like, Genus had to go into an area where he's not usually active, sending some of his sidekicks just to keep a watch on that place because all of the heroes in the area retired. He had top 10 heroes retiring. And it's just, well, sure, it's a realistic response to what happened. All those people were not, who were only in the hero business. Like, sure, they were in it to save people, but also they were getting stuff out of it as well. They were not altruistically doing it. And when faced with the realization that, hey, shit can hit the fan really quick, they couldn't handle it. And this is the fallout. And, well, honestly, for everything that I've said in gripes against this show, in it, the gripes against the manga, in all of the ways that I don't admit it, but other people say there's wrong, it does have a very realistic, outcome of what happened in that war. Like, sure, it doesn't have as realistic a take on superheroes and everything as, say, The Boys does, because that's basically satire set in the real world, what would happen. This is sort of a midway point between, hey, we've got Marvel heroes who are just doing everything for the sake of good. They're doing nothing for personal gain or anything. You've got The Boys who, like, they're basically celebrities. They're corporatized and everything. This is in the middle. Like, they get subsidized by the government depending on how much they do to save people. Some do it selfishly, some do it altruistically, some just do it for the popularity and everything. Like, this is midpoint between like pop culture, what usually is with heroes, and what would realistically happen. And sometimes it leans more one way than the other. But yeah, I basically said everything I had to think about when Hawks' backstory was being shown. Like the irony of him idolizing Endeavor with the place that he comes from, the fact that he saved a bunch of people using his quirk with exceptional control over it. Because remember how complex his quirk is, to the point where he can manually control every single feather that he sends out of his back. That is splitting his mind hundreds of ways, and he's able to do so as a child to save what, dozen people from a pile up, while also stressing about the fact that if he gets seen, his father could be arrested. If he doesn't get seen and his father finds out, he's going to get abused and everything, and yet he still stopped and saved all those people at such a young age using such a complex quirk. It's no wonder the Hero Commission sought him out and everything. And after Endeavor saved him by putting his father behind bars where he should have been, yeah, it makes sense that Hawks would take up being a hero. Plus, there's the added point where it's like, hey, we'll also look after your mother. Like, most heroes wouldn't get that. Like, if they want to support their family, they'd have to use the subsidized money that they get to, like, look at Uraraka's plan. She was going to take the money she earned as being a hero, give it to her family. Whereas Hawks' mother just gets it straight, gets to live a comfortable life because of Hawks joining the commission. And yeah. Also, it's never really talked about, but those two eyeballs, they were his mother's quirk. They're basically, she was the lookout for his father. When, after he's killed someone over the small amount of money, and when she hit him, she would basically use those eyes to make sure that there was no one around whenever he needed to leave or anything. Like, that's basically what her quirk was. She was able to see through those eyes. But yeah, we got the breakdown of what the plan with Genus was. I found it, again, ironic that Darby, in his speech to the world, banked on the fact that Best Genus had been killed by Hawks. And yet the only reason that Best Genus was able to survive for as long as he did is because Darby insisted on his body being preserved to eventually be turned into a Nomu. If he hadn't have talked the Doctor into preserving the body, then he probably wouldn't have survived that long, and Hawks would have actually killed him. And it's just... Now, there is one more thing that I want to talk about, but I think it's going to be touched on in the next episode based on what that preview was. So, I'm going to leave it till next episode if I remember. And let's be honest, I probably won't. And yeah. Also, they did make a point to say that Hawks is now free to do whatever he wants. He is a hero. He has all of that he's one of the, like, sure, he's got trust taken out of him because he killed twice, but there's also the fact that he's the number 2 hero at such a young age because of everything he's done, and now the commission is no longer a thing giving him all his orders. He's basically free to be his own hero. But anyway, yeah, the actual episode itself was slow. Like, it's a midway point between arcs. Like, it's meant to be the cool down after the war. You can't really expect anything. It's more character driven than action. Like, that makes sense. That's to be expected and everything. But the broader glimpse at this episode, like, if you actually look at everything that was shown properly, you get a lot more than what you initially think. Especially if you have the expansion idea, well, not ideas, but knowledge that I do. And yet I still haven't said anything that comes in the future. Like, everything I spoke about was from this episode. And I've been talking for, what, 10 minutes after the episode? Yeah, so anyway, with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.